So we'll start settling in, picking up your comfortable seat, whatever that feels like for you today. Feel free to elevate your hips on something if that feels better. Just taking a few rounds of deeper breath just to arrive and settle in. If it feels comfortable to do so, you can allow the eyes to close. But of course, if that doesn't feel comfortable or safe today, you can keep them open, maybe just softening the gaze a bit. And starting to connect now to your physical body, becoming aware of the support below you, the air around you, coming into awareness of your edges, the boundary between you and the space around you. Starting to feel the spine stacking tall over the pelvis, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, soft tucking of the chin towards the chest, and gentle lift out to the crown of the head so that the whole back of the body starts to come alive and awake, but without strain. And starting now to take an inventory of the physical body and moving with a kind eye as you do. And starting to notice the places that already feel open and spacious, and the places that feel a little less so. And perhaps also any places where you're holding on too tightly. Maybe that's between the eyebrows, around the cheek or the jaw, the neck or the shoulders, maybe the belly, maybe even the hands or the feet. Just seeing if you can send a few extra rounds of breath into the places that need it the most. And starting to bring your attention and awareness to the emotional body, your mood this evening. And as always, moving gently with yourself here, knowing that whenever we begin to check in with mood and feelings, there's so much that can come forward. Just standing by and bearing witness to whatever is present as best you can without labeling or judging anything that you find. Just giving yourself permission to sit with what is. And then turning your attention to the activity of your mind, noticing the state and the energy. Maybe it still feels quite busy from the day, jumping from thing to thing. Or maybe it's had a chance to slow down a little. Maybe it's still working somewhere in between those states. Seeing if you can become aware of the thoughts as they enter, acknowledge and track them, and then allow them to go on their way. Trying not to tug or pull at any one thought for too long. And finally, turning your attention to your breath, noticing the rhythm, the depth, the cadence, maybe the temperature, taking note of the quality of the breath. And does it feel fast or slow, round or choppy, full or shallow, or somewhere in between? Noticing the cyclical nature of the breath. The inhale gently becomes the exhale and gently returns to the inhale. And starting to notice the breath expanding the torso in all four directions. Forward through the chest and the belly, out to the sides, to the ribs, and around to the back body, lower ribs, and lower spine. Gently filling and inflating on the inhale, and gently releasing on the exhale. In these last few moments here, offering the seed for our practice this evening, and working this week with the element of water. Noticing all the qualities that are associated with that: fluidity, grace, adaptability, but also strength and persistence. The water is able to flow around obstacles in its path to reach where it's going. It confronts each obstacle a little bit differently, but it always keeps going. Sometimes we can feel small and unable to affect the change that we want to make, or just a single drop. But knowing that all those single drops combined together are a force of nature. So if we keep going, we really can affect change. We'll hold that idea with us as we begin the movement portion of the practice. Gently, as you feel ready, allowing the eyes to blink open if they were closed, or just sharpening your gaze. And then starting gently with some shoulder rolls up and back. Just moving smoothly, keeping the breath steady. It doesn't have to be fast. It's just moving at your own pace. Once that feels fairly comfortable, then adding in the elbows, making those circles a little bit larger. Starting to connect now to the shoulder blades, feeling them glide and slide across the ribs as you move the arms. And once you feel ready, gently adding the full arm. Big sweeping circles up and back. Breath staying smooth and steady. No stress. Maybe one or two more times around. And then when you feel ready, ending with the arms in that big wide V shape up towards the sky. Just taking a moment to receive what you find here. And then gently interlacing the fingers together in front of the chest and going right into those wrist circles, making some figure eights with the knuckles. First, a few times around one direction, and then gently switching paths, going the other way. And gently shaking that out and allowing the hands to come to the lap and finding some place, maybe the knees or maybe the shins, where you can get a good grip on your legs. We'll use that as we create some spine waves to get some traction here. So we're going to see if we can feel like we're going for a dive. So on the exhale, tucking the chin down towards the chest, starting to round through the upper spine, and then leaning forward a little as if you were ducking up and under something. On the inhale, starting to swim up, arch the spine. Lean back a little as you traction through the arms, and then diving we go on the exhale. Bending forward, curling the chin. Inhale to scoop up and under, leaning back a little bit. Head comes up and back. And a few more rounds on your own breath, using the exhale to dive you forward. Inhale to climb up the spine, arch the back, and then head comes up and around. Maybe one more time through. Exhaling underneath. Inhaling to swim up and out. That's it. And then resting in your neutral spine for a moment. Just reconnect. And then we'll gently make our way towards hands and knees on the mat. If you think you might like your blocks, you might have them towards the upper left corner of the mat. Hey, nice to see you. I'm going to put the playlist in just in case you want it. You're just in time. We're coming right onto hands and knees. We just finished our check-in and now come in here and your hands and knees. Awesome. Okay. So as you are starting to settle in here, taking any movements that would feel good to you. As always, this exploration is your own making. Maybe spine waves, maybe bending one elbow at a time, maybe swaying the hips back and forth or making some figure eights. Whatever would help you get into the physical body and feel grounded and connected on your mat. Maybe one or two more rounds of play here. Starting to come into some sensation of stillness in your own timing and rush. But as you arrive in this shape, checking to see that the hands are just slightly ahead of the shoulders, the knees are right underneath the hips here. A little press into the hands to slide the shoulder blades gently away from each other. A little lift in the low belly. And then on the inhale, taking that left leg long behind you. Just taking a moment to notice what happens when you do that. If the wave shifted way over to the right, see if you can bring it back to the middle. And then from here, another chance to play, just taking a few breaths to explore around that left hip joint. Maybe that leg wants to do some figure eights or spirals. Maybe it would like to come up and over the other hip. Maybe pulling in towards the nose. But just checking out your hip joint here, seeing what it has to offer you this evening. And one or two more full breaths. Yes, that's it. As if you could paint with your toes. What shapes could you make? And then as you finish playing, stretching that leg long behind you once again. And then exhale to connect the toes to the back of the mat. And then on the inhale, starting to rotate that foot so that the toes are facing the long edge of the mat and the foot is flat. Shifting the weight more into the right hand. On the inhale, swim your left arm from the back of the mat towards the front. So you're in this gate pose legs with the side bend arms. Yes. Breathing smooth and steady here. You can even push that right hand into the mat, getting a little lift from underneath. One more big breath here. And on the exhale, gently look down towards the earth. Allow the left hand and the left knee to find the mat. And you're back in your 4-point position here. Once again, drawing up through the belly, pressing the hands into the earth. And then on the inhale, extending out through that right leg. Taking a moment first here, gathering your weight through the hands, making sure you haven't shifted too far to one side. And then once again, that Sahara movement at that right hip. Anything that hip would like. Spinning in circles, checking out up and over, maybe under the body. Whatever that right hip needs now. It might be something different than the left. But keeping the breath smooth and steady as you go. Just taking some time to explore. Really nice. Maybe 1 or 2 more rounds of breath here. And as you land, stretching that foot long behind you once more. And then on the exhale, landing the right toes at the back of the mat. Inhaling to roll the weight to the left, flatten out that right foot, right toes face forward. Once you feel your weight shifting, then on the inhale, swim the right hand from the back of the mat all the way overhead. You're in that same side bend on the other side. Yes. Lifting up out of the right left shoulder, reaching the right arm overhead. One more round here. And then exhale to look down. Right hand finds the earth, right knee finds the earth. Coming back to our 4-point here. And then on the inhale, extending the left leg long behind you. This time on the exhale, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Gathering the strength in the legs, get a little lighter on your fingers. So on the inhale, you can sweep both arms up to the sky, coming into your low lunge. Yes. Smooth, steady breath here, just arriving for a moment. And then on the exhale, bringing your left hand to your left hip, right arm stays in the air. Inhale to reach the right fingers up, and then exhale, side bend towards your left, coming towards that front leg. Once again, feeling that right rib cage open and expand with the breath. One more round here. And then inhale, torso and right arm straight back up to the sky. And then exhale, right hand to your right hip. Inhale to reach the left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale over towards your right. So opposite direction, you may feel your balance shift here. That's okay, just noticing that that happened. Expanding into the left rib cage now. Smooth and steady round of breath. Inhale takes the torso and the left arm back up to the sky. And then this time on the exhale, just the left arm moves. Left arm is going to start to reach forward, then towards the bottom of the floor, and then a little bit behind you, extending through the shoulder. And then inhale, back the way we came, starting to reach towards the ground, and then forward, and then up overhead. We'll do that twice more. This time, if you like, the spine can come with you. You'll inhale to reach. Exhale to bring that arm down. As the arm comes behind you, option to turn the chest a little towards the left, look out towards those left fingers. And then inhale, chest starts to face forward. Left arm reaches forward and then overhead. If you like, stamp down through that left foot, reach back, taking into a little bit of a back bend now. And then fluid motion on the exhale, connect to your belly, start to reach back up. Left arm then reaches down towards the earth, reaches back behind you, maybe looking out over those left fingers. And then inhale, smooth, steady reach. Left arm reaches down, forward, and up. If you like, stamp down through the left foot once again, reach back, little back bend here. This time on the exhale, just bringing the torso and the arm back up to the earth. Exhaling, left hand to left hip. And then taking a moment here to breathe. And then taking both hands down on the mat on the inside of that front foot. pushing the hands into the earth, sweeping that left foot all the way towards the back of the mat, connecting to the earth with the left toes, spinning that left foot flat. And then one more time, inhaling to sweep the left arm from the back of the mat over top to the front, but this time we'll change right away. Exhale to find the earth again with the left knee and the left hand. And then right away, extend the right leg to the back of the mat, connect the toes, connect the foot. Inhale to sweep the right arm from the back of the mat overhead, and then gently returning hands and knees to the earth. Yes, great, y'all. And then we'll take that whole thing on the second side. So we'll inhale to stretch the right leg out long behind you, just a breath. Exhale to step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Lighten up on your fingers, and then sweep both arms up to the sky. Come into your low lunge, yes. Take a moment to arrive, checking that you're balanced. And then exhale, right hand to right hip. Leave the left arm where it is. Inhale to reach. And then exhale, take it over towards the right, coming towards that front leg. Breathing smooth and steady here. And then inhale, torso and left arm back up to the sky. Exhale, left hand to your left hip. Inhale, right arm reaches all the way up. Give it a moment here. And then on the exhale, yes, tipping over to the left. Breathing into that right rib cage. You can use that left hand for a little bit of stability if you like, pushing it into the hip. And then inhale, up we rise, torso and arm reach. This first time with the arm circle, just the arm moves, spine stays tall. On the exhale, reaching the left fingers forward, down towards the floor, and then extending a little bit behind you. Inhale to sweep that arm towards the floor in front of you, and then overhead up to the sky. Yes. Now we'll add the spine if you like. Exhaling to take that hand forward towards the earth. And then as it comes behind you, maybe you start to turn the chest a little, look back over those right fingers. And then smooth inhale, torso faces forward, arm starts to return, sweeping forward and then overhead. And then if you like, stamp down through that right foot, take it into a little back bend. Exhale, connect to the belly, bring the torso and the arm back up, and then keep going. Arm reaches forward, beautiful, y'all. Back behind you, maybe taking a look back, that's gorgeous. And then inhale all the way back forward, arm reaches forward and up, maybe taking it right into that back bend. This time on the exhale, just coming back up to your neutral spine, arm reaches, one last breath. And then exhaling, right hand to right hip, having a moment to just stand in your legs. And then exhaling, both hands to the mat on the inside of the right foot. Press into the hands so that you can inhale that right leg long behind you. Connect the toes, connect the sole of the right foot. Sweep the right arm from the back of the mat overhead. And then right away to change through center, right hand and right knee on the earth. And then inhale, left leg back, connect the toes, left arm reaches back, and then overhead. And then returning to your 4-point position. All right, y'all, very nice. From here, walking the hands just slightly ahead of the shoulders, tenting up onto the fingertips a little. So there's a little scooping action at the palm. Bases of the knuckles remain on the earth. And then kickstand the toes, lift the belly, inhale to prepare. Exhale to push into our little hover position here, knees hovering just an inch or two off the earth. Strong belly, strong arms, activating the shoulder blades. One more moment here. And then exhaling to lift the hips high to the sky, coming into your downward facing dog. As always, this first down dog is just for you. So take a moment to make it your own. Really inhabit the shape. Playing around with the feet, you can walk it out, getting into the calves a little here, shifting the hips back and forth if you like. Playing with the dimensions between the hands and the feet, and between the feet and between the hands. Taking 1 or 2 more full breaths to play here. Option in a moment will be to ripple forward to full plank. If you prefer rippling forward to half plank, either way is okay. If you're in your down dog, finding some stillness in that shape, and then choosing, if you're going to come to high plank, you'll stay in your down dog. If you would like to ripple to half plank, you'll lower your knees to the earth and start that ripple from your quadruped position, from that 4 point. Either way, we'll start together on the inhale. If you're standing, come high up on the toes, and then we'll all curl into the low belly, lower spine, middle spine, upper spine. Head and eyes come out last. You're either in your full high plank or your half plank. If you're in your half plank, you're going to do those gate ripples that we just practiced. If you're in your full plank, you're going to shift your hips a little, turning the torso towards the left. Left hip reaches a little bit higher to the sky, but you're still mostly in a plank shape. And then exhale to come back to your full high plank. Inhale to shift the hips a little to the right, torso facing a little to the right, hips in that little side bend. Exhale back to your full plank. If you are in half plank and waving, you'll come to rest. And then everyone bending the knees, taking the hips high to the sky, coming back to your downward facing dog. This time on the inhale, bending the knees and looking forward. And then taking a little walk to the top of the mat. Bending the knees as much as you like when you arrive. And then stamping into the feet so that you can swim your arms out and around on the inhale. And then exhale, hands to your heart. Very nice. From here, we'll inhale to take a big step back to the back of the mat with the left leg. So you're coming into your high lunge legs, right knee in the front, left leg strong and straight in the back. Taking a moment to find your feet, taking a little bit more space between them will ease the balance. Either way is okay. Once you feel comfortable in the feet, then we'll inhale both arms up to the sky, coming into your full high lunge here. Taking a moment once again to arrive in this shape. And then as you feel ready on the exhale, releasing that right hand to your right hip. Here we go, inhaling to reach the left arm up. And then on the exhale, over towards the right, towards that front leg. The balance may have shifted here now that your knee is off the earth. So just take that in stride. One more breath. And then inhale to come back up to center, reach that left arm up. Exhaling, left hand to the left hip. Inhale to reach the right arm up, reaching up towards that high lunge on the inhale. And then exhale to take your side bend over towards the left. Especially without that knee anchored, the balance can feel a bit tricky here. So just take the bend as far as you like. No pressure. And then inhale your way back up, right arm reaching towards the sky. And we'll take that same arm pattern. This first time, spine stays tall, just the arm moves. Exhale to take that hand in front of you and then down towards the floor. And then a little bit behind, extending through the shoulder. Inhale to reverse, swim towards the floor, and then forward, and then overhead. This time being mindful of the balance, you can allow the spine to come. Inhale to reach. Exhale to reach that arm forward. Maybe that little turn of the torso as you reach back. Look back over the left hand. And then inhale, sweep that arm down. Torso remains towards the front. Left arm reaches overhead, and then maybe keep going. Maybe a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, connect to the belly. Use your roots as you start to straighten up. Take the left arm forward, right arm forward towards the floor. Maybe that little torso twist as the right arm travels behind you. And then last time, all the way up. Inhaling to take the arm forward. Centered in your feet, maybe finishing with that little bit of a back bend here. And then exhale to come right back up to your neutral. Inhale, one last reach. And then exhale, dropping the right hand to the right hip. This time, you'll hinge forward over that right hip to bring both hands down to the mat on the inside of that right foot. Maybe walk the right foot over to the right a little bit if you need more space. Here's where if you'd like to use your blocks, this is a great time. Might give you a little bit more height here. If you don't want to use the blocks, that's okay too. You can leave flat palms or tented fingers. Wherever you are, on the inhale, bending into that right knee a little bit more, look out in front of you. On the exhale, start from the low belly, starting to pick the hips up, coiling through the spine. Head comes last as you look back towards that left knee. And then inhaling, rippling through the spine as you come forward. Head and eyes come out last. You're back in that hip front position. Yes. And then twice more like that. Exhale to push into the belly. Start to scissor the legs. Head coils down last. You look back towards your left knee. And then fluid inhale, swimming forward as if you yourself were the water, looking out over the edge of the mat. Last full time. In on the exhale, pulling in through the belly, starting to reach it back. Look back towards that foot. Inhale your way all the way forward, smooth spine. Head and eyes come out last. And then from here, shift your way back a little so you're in that taller version of your lunge. And then start to come lighter on your fingers. If you have your blocks, you're going to take your blocks with you as we do this. We're going to start to turn the fingers and all the toes towards the long edge of the mat. We're going to stop in the middle here. If you have your blocks, you can set them to one side, or if you'd like to still have your hands on them, that's fine. Toe heel the feet a little bit closer, and then turn the toes out at a 45-degree angle. So your feet are a little wider than your shoulders. And then on your exhale, bend the knees. On your inhale, either floating the forearms up to the thighs, or if that feels too deep, hands come to the knees. Either way is totally okay. Yes. Wherever you are, on the inhale, start to squeeze to the middle. Straighten the legs a little, arms fan in, looking down. Exhale, rebend the knees, push the hands into the legs, look out, flat spine. Yes, there we go. Twice more. Inhale, coil, starting to round the spine, look down. Exhale, flat back, start to look up, push the arms into the legs. One more time. Inhale, coil the energy in towards you. Exhale, radiate it out. Hold here for just a breath. And then here we go. Hands find the earth or your blocks. Knees can stay bent. If you're taking the blocks, travel them with you. We're going to turn the toes towards the back of the mat, finding a lunge on the other side. So we're in that runner's lunge position here towards the back of the mat. Left knee is bent, right leg is straight. Hands can stay on the blocks as you like. But then we're going to start to lift. Lighten up on the fingers. Inhale your way all the way back up towards your high lunge, but now at the back of the mat. Yes, made it. Awesome. Okay, holding a moment here to recover and arrive. Taking the feet wider as you need, just checking in with your balance. And then from here, we'll exhale the left hand to the left hip. Inhale to reach the right arm up. And then exhale, take it over towards the left. Coming into that side bend one more time here. Smooth, steady breath. Inhale, reach the right fingers back up, torso comes back up. Exhale, right hand to your right hip. And then inhale the left arm up towards the sky, reaching up with that hand. And then exhale, tip over to the right. This is the more challenging direction here. So just checking in with your balance. No worries. This is that persistent effort here. Smooth breath. And then inhale to straighten out through the torso, reach that arm up. I'm going to take our last round of those arm movements. First time, just the arm. Inhaling to reach. Exhale to reach that left arm forward, then down towards the floor. Then a little bit behind you, extend through the shoulder. Inhale all the way back up, through the floor, through center, back up to the sky. And then we'll take twice with the spine if you like. Inhale here. Exhale, starting to reach that arm forward, down towards the floor. Take it behind you, maybe turn the chest, maybe look back a little bit. Smooth inhale all the way up, stretching the arm forward, overhead, and then maybe into that back bend. Just watching the balance as you go. And then smooth movement, exhaling back forward. Arm reaches down towards the earth. And then a little behind you, maybe you take yourself with it. Last time, smooth inhale, hand comes towards the floor, towards the front, overhead, and then maybe into that back bend. Strong belly on the exhale carries you just back up to the center. And then gently allow the left hand to find your left hip. Breathing here for a moment. Hands come to the chest. And then hinge forward over that left hip so that you can get your hands down once again on the inside of that front foot. You can also take the left foot wider if you want more space. And then you choose. Hands can be on the earth, tented fingers, or blocks, whatever feels best for you. But then on the inhale, looking forward over the edge of the mat, allowing that left knee to bend a little, hips to drop a little towards the earth. And then here we go on the exhale, using the power of the belly, starting to scoop the hips up a little bit, coiling through the spine, looking back towards that back leg. Yes. And then inhale, swim your way forward. Head and eyes come out last, drop the hips a little, look out. Exhale, coil from the roots. Push the hands into the earth to help you as you round and look back toward the back leg. Inhale to ride the wave of your breath all the way forward. Hips drop a little, look out. One full time more. Exhaling, coil. Reaching back with the spine, looking towards that back leg. And then inhale all you've got out towards the front. And then just before, just lifting the hips back up to that little bit of neutral so you can take some weight off of the hands. And then starting to walk back towards the long edge of the mat. Blocks can come with you if you like. Hovering here in the middle. Once again, taking those feet a little closer together so they're just outside shoulder height. Toes come open at a 45-degree angle here. Then exhale to bend the knees. And then inhale, you choose either that forearms to the thighs or a little higher, hands on the knees. There's no extra credit in yoga, so you pick the one that's best for you. Wherever you are, inhaling to coil, scooping in with the arms, squeezing the legs, and then exhaling forward, flattening out through the spine, pushing the arms into the thighs. Twice more. Inhale to round, scoop energy in towards you. Exhale, flat back, push the knees, a little arch as you finish. One more time. Inhale, coil and rounding. Exhale, radiate out. Hold here for just a moment. Then straighten through the legs a little, hands come down towards the earth. You make your final crawl back towards the front of the mat, taking that runner's lunge to the front of the mat one last time. This time, start to walk the hands a little bit forward. So keep bent in the right leg. And then maybe take 1, 2, 3 steps to the top of the mat with the hands on the earth. Folding forward over the legs. Bending the knees as much as you like. Yes. Taking a moment here, just allowing the head and the neck
to release and become a little bit heavy. And then in a moment, we're heading towards the earth. So make your choice again, whether you'd like to ripple from hands and knees towards half plank or from down dog to full plank. Once you've decided, then you'll plant your hands, bending your knees as much as you need to do that. And then choose either coming down to hands and knees or stepping back towards your downward facing dog. And then from here, rippling forward, either to your half plank or all the way forward towards your full plank, taking the whole inhale to do so, regardless of where you are. Yes. If you're in your full plank, hang here for a breath. If you're in your half plank, you're going to take those little gate ripples that we took before. Full plank, you're going to take both heels towards your right, coming into that stacked foot position, one foot in front of the other. Left hand will come to your heart. So you're in the beginning of a side plank here. Then exhaling, gently roll back through your full plank. Both heels come to the left. Right hand comes to your heart. Yes, that's it. Exhale down to your full plank. Both full and half plank, now bending the knees and sending the hips high to the sky. Coming into your downward facing dog. Inhaling to look forward, bend the knees and walk yourself to the top of the mat. Taking a breath here, and as you feel steady in the feet, sweeping the arms out and up on the inhale. Exhaling, hands to your heart. So nice, y'all. Okay. From here, we're going to shift the weight into the right foot, spreading through the toes. And then on your next inhale, you'll start to come towards the ball of the left toe. So the big toe is still connected to the earth. And then starting to take the shape of an 8, drawing an 8 with your toe on the mat. That's it. As if we had paint there would be all these really neat iterations of your 8. And then as you feel ready, if you like, starting to lift your foot from the earth, still creating that 8 shape pattern, but now with the foot free. That's it. 1 or 2 more full times around. And then next, starting to guide that left foot either to the inside of that right calf, or you can use your hand and help it towards the inside of the right thigh. Yes, either way is okay. That's it. Once you get there, you'll press your foot into your thigh and the thigh into the foot. If you feel steady here, you'll inhale both arms up to the sky. If you feel steady here, take an inhale. On the exhale, lean yourself a little towards the left. Hips start to push out to the right as a counterbalance. Your tree is now swaying in the side bending wind. Good. If you're in the side bend, use your inhale to come back up to center. And then exhale, maybe take the arms and torso over to the right. Hips come to the left a little. Maybe your tree is running into a door like mine. One more moment. If you're side bending, reach both arms back up to the sky. And then everyone exhale, hands to your heart. Gently, with control, release that left foot. Place it on the earth. Gorgeous, all really nice. I'm going to turn to face this way for the second side so you can see it better. We'll clear it with an arm circle, swimming the arms out and up on the inhale, and exhaling, hands to your heart. And then we'll start to shift the weight into the left foot, spreading the left toes. Inhale to come to the ball of the right foot. And then starting to trace those figure 8s first on the earth. So as if that right foot could draw a map on the floor here. This is where all that hip circling from before, we were preparing for this moment. And then as you feel ready, perhaps lifting the toes off the earth, continuing with that 8 pattern. No worries if it stops looking exactly like an 8, that's no big deal. Good. Yep. 1 or 2 more times around. And then choosing once again, either right foot to the inside of the left calf, or maybe use your hand, start to guide it towards the inside of the left thigh. Wherever you are, use that connection to help you stay aloft, pushing the leg into the foot and the foot into the leg. Power of the belly here. As you feel ready, maybe reaching both arms up to the sky. Smooth breath. And then your option, maybe take an inhale here, and then exhale first over towards the right. Left hips are gonna, you only have one. See, when you say it wrong, you fall over. Shifting the hips to the left, arms to the right. One more breath here. If you're side bent, use your inhale to come back straight. And then last side, inhale here. Maybe exhale over towards the right. Last little bit here. Smooth, persistent breath. One more. Inhale to return upright. And then everyone exhale, hands to your heart. And then with control, release that right foot back to the earth. Yes, that's really great. Beautiful. And then last time here, inhaling the arms out and around. Exhaling, hands to your heart. Hinge forward at your hips to set the hands down. Last choice, either stepping back to your downward facing dog or stepping down to your quadruped. One last moment to play here. You know where we're headed, rippling either to half plank or full plank. On the inhale, scooping in through the belly, using the power of the belly to help you as you arrive. If you're in your half plank, you have one more round of those swimming gaits. If you're in your full plank and you'd like to, you'll bring the toes together so the feet are touching, and then roll the weight to the right side. Use your left fingers as a kickstand to start. Stack the feet one on top of the other. Push into that right hand, lift the hips, and then left hand first comes to your heart, then maybe towards the sky, and then maybe up and over, creating that rainbow effect in your full side plank. One more breath if you're up here. And then exhale, gently look towards the earth. Roll through your full plank, and then restack the feet. Roll to the left, outer edge of that left foot on the earth, right foot stacks on top, picking up through the hips here. Then right hand to your heart. Maybe right hand to the sky, yes. And then right hand over top. Really nice. Beautiful there. One more breath. And gently exhaling, look down. Coming back through your full plank, just a breath. And then if they're not already, everyone bring the knees to the earth. Kick the toes together, knees apart, and then start to walk the hips back. Hands come forward. Head can find the earth. Coming into your child pose here. Slowing down the breath, slowing down the mind. And if that full child feels like too much, you can always come to your forearms and bring a block to rest your head on. That's fine too. Taking a moment to just savor all that your body can do, all that you can accomplish with that adaptable, persistent element of water. We have that same quality within us. And if we can do this on the mat, just think what we could do off the mat. One more breath in your rest. And then gently inhale your way back forward, hands and knees. And then just take the feet to one side, the hips to the other, so you can sit on the earth. And then we'll take the legs long in front, shaking them out for a moment. And we're gonna come towards a forward fold here. So if just sitting in this position makes you feel like the spine is pretty rounded, Either bending both knees a fair amount or choosing to sit up on something like a block so that you can really get good purchase underneath your sitting bones. Well, once you have that, wriggling back and forth a little, and then we'll inhale both arms up to the sky. On the exhale, hinging forward at your hip crease, starting to drape your way down, hands finding somewhere to land. It doesn't have to be your feet. It could be your ankles. It could be your knees. But if there's a lot of space between the belly and the thighs, bend the knees enough so that the belly touches the thighs. That's it. And once you're there and you're out of room in the low spine, then you can allow the head and the neck to gently drape forward towards the legs. Feeling the breath start to slow down even more. Maybe starting to notice that you can feel the breath in the back body now more than we usually can detect it. Forward folds are great places to notice that. As you're ready, gently allow the inhale to inflate, lift the torso. And then hands are just going to come straight in front, so parallel to the earth. And then check to see that you have a fair amount of room behind you. You can straighten out the legs as you like now. And then we'll start to roll onto the back. We're taking one vertebra at a time, leading from the belly, scooping down. If this ever feels like too much, you can always bend your knees and roll down that way. Once you reach the earth, you'll extend both arms overhead, taking a big yawning stretch to the side body, feeling the rib cage expanding. Maybe even pointing the toes, getting as long as you can. And then gently exhaling the hands to the earth, and then bending one knee at a time to make your feet come flat. And you can take the feet fairly wide here, almost or as wide as the mat. And then choose someplace comfortable for your arms. Maybe you just turn palms up with the arms at your sides. Maybe you'd like to come into a T shape or maybe even a cactus. But choose something that allows the head of the arm bone to rest comfortably against the floor. Then once you have the arms, gently allowing both knees to come to one side and then the other, moving back and forth like a pair of very slow windshield wipers. And just taking this at your own depth. So it doesn't have to be your biggest movement, but if it feels good to go lower, you can. Now the next time that both knees are over towards the left, allow gravity to win, pulling the knees down towards the earth any amount that they want to go. And then maybe allowing the head to look out over the right shoulder, but only if that feels safe and comfortable on your neck. Keeping the breath smooth and sweet. And on the inhale, coming back through center, nose and knees face the ceiling. And then allow the exhale to take the knees over to the right. And maybe the head wants to look out over the left shoulder now. But your neck has two sides, so just be respectful of this one. And gently change on the inhale, bringing the nose and the knees back up to the ceiling. And then last little piece here, inhaling to take both knees in towards the chest, and then wrapping the arms either around the outside of the shins, or you can hook the hands underneath the knees, hugging around the hamstring. Either way, maybe there's a little movement that wants to happen, rocks from side to side, or maybe circles, maybe spirals. If you are doing some kind of circling or spiraling movement, just make sure you go the other way at some point, evening out your side. And then gently releasing the feet to the earth. And then heading towards a final rest here. So choosing some position that is comfortable for you. Once again, choosing your arm position. Legs can stay bent if you like. Just toe heel the feet wide and allow the knees to come together. Or you can extend the legs long. Anything that you like. And just allowing the effects of the practice to register, be synthesized within the body. And I'll allow the sound of my voice to fade away, maybe with a few moments of silent rest, and then I'll call you back. Gently beginning to inhale the breath back into the body, starting with small movements at your edges, wiggling fingers and toes. No rush. Gradually making those movements larger, closer to your center. Eventually bending one knee at a time. Making your way onto one side. Taking a moment to pause there on your side. Allowing all your systems to catch back up with you. Then gently, as you feel ready, making your way back up to a comfortable seat, but perhaps still with the eyes closed or just a soft gaze, but keeping the attention internal for one more moment. Completely optional, but if you'd like, turning the palms to face the ceiling in your lap, then gently taking the shape Jala Mudra, the water mudra, by touching the tip of the pinky to the tip of the thumb. Either way, taking these last few breaths to recognize that water has all those different qualities. But perhaps the most powerful is its adaptable persistence. I wish us all that same quality as we move through the rest of the week and into the weekend. I thank you so much, as always, for sharing your practice with one another and with me. And I wish you a lovely evening. Namaste. All right, my friends, I'm going to turn off the recording and I'll come back.